Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. When Maya first heard the scratching, it was quite late at night. She initially believed it to be mice or perhaps a tree branch rubbing the window, but she could tell something wasn't right when the sound grew more pronounced. The scratching was too close, too purposeful, low and rhythmic. It appeared to originate from above her bedroom ceiling, inside the house itself. Lena, Maya's sister, had displayed odd behavior for several weeks. She was quiet and restrained by nature, but recently her demeanor had changed from bashful to unsettlingly strange. Whispers were the first sign of it. Mumbling to herself, Lena would look off into space as though having a meaningful conversation with someone she couldn't see. Maya attempted to dismiss it, thinking it was simply school-related stress, but things swiftly got out of hand. Long stretches of silence gave way to fits of inexplicable laughter, and worse, Lena began to vanish at strange hours of the night. Maya arrived at the basement door one evening to find her sister standing still, with her hand just above the doorknob. Lena remained silent when Maya questioned what she was doing. With a broad, eerie smile, she simply peered over her shoulder before turning to leave, her bare feet thumping softly on the wood. Maya was stuck with the unsettling experience. She saw a faint but distinct shadow in the corner of her room that night as she tried to fall asleep. Her heartbeat accelerated and she switched on her nightstand lamp. Nothing. Even though she didn't get much sleep, she convinced herself that it was all in her head. But the scraping continued. Over the next few nights, it became more and more audible, as if someone or something was frantically attempting to break through the walls. Then one night, Maya heard muffled voices reverberating down the corridor as she woke up. It was Lena, speaking quickly and in a low volume. With her heart pounding, Maya stealthily exited her bed and made her way to Lena's room. In the darkness outside, her sister was talking to someone or something while standing by the open window. "Lena?" Maya gave a quiet call. Her sister remained silent. She just cocked her head slightly, enough so that Maya could see her face. Her eyes glistened, catching the twilight glow of the moon. Her sister's eyes weren't those. They were empty, dark, and devoid of feeling. Lena remained silent, but she cocked her head strangely to the side, as though she was trying to hear something far away. Then she crawled out the window and disappeared into the night with unhuman speed. Maya ran to the window in a panic, thinking she would find her sister down on the lawn. However, nothing was present. Lena is nowhere to be found. There are no footprints in the soil, just the dark, unsettling silence. Maya felt a knot of fear in her stomach. Lena came back the following day as if nothing had occurred. Humming gently to herself, she sat at the kitchen table eating breakfast. Lena only grinned when Maya confronted her. Her voice was too natural, too calm as she said, "I was just taking a walk." But Maya felt a shiver run down her spine because of something chilly behind her eyelids. Maya shut the door to her bedroom that evening. She had trouble falling asleep. She felt taunted by every squeak in the house, and the silence was oppressive. She gazed at the ceiling, anticipating the recurrence of the scratching. She heard it again about midnight, however, this time it was louder and more forceful. However, there was a difference. She was no longer above the scratching. It was in her chamber. She drew the blankets closer around her, trying to tell herself she was dreaming while her heart thumped. Subsequently, she detected a little damp noise, akin to fingers scraping against the wall. Maya slowly moved to face the far corner of the room. Her blood turned to ice. There she was, Lena, hunched over in the corner, her limbs bent at strange angles. Her eyes were wide and unblinking, her skin pallid and sickly. The way she moved, though, was the worst part. Her hands clutching the plaster like an insect scuttling across the surface, her body slithering along the walls. Her mouth twitched into a hideous smile, and her head twisted at an unimaginable angle. Lena growled, her voice a low rasp. "Maya, play with me, please." Lena's body scuttled over the ceiling as Maya shrieked and scurried out of bed, fumbling with the door lock while her laughter reverberated around the room. Lena pounced at Maya as she was just about to yank the door open, slamming it behind her and running down the corridor, her fingers barely brushing Maya's arm. She ran till she got to the front yard, panting for air and feeling her heart race in her chest. She noticed Lena's shadow in her bedroom window, her head still twisted at that repulsive position when she gazed up at the house. Fearful, Maya hurried over to her neighbor's residence and dialed her parents, who were absent for the weekend. Lena was sitting quietly at the kitchen table, as if nothing had happened, when they got there. She gave them a kind smile, but as soon as her eyes locked with Maya's, a dark, otherworldly spark appeared in them. Maya's parents quickly made arrangements for Lena to get assistance after she declined to spend another night in the house. But no physician could account for her peculiar behavior. Eventually, Lena was admitted to a mental health hospital, where she is being kept today. But Maya is aware of reality. She is aware that her sibling is no longer the thing crawling on her walls that evening. She occasionally still hears the scratching in the dark of night. It's slow and deliberate, like fingernails dragging across the walls, like if they're waiting for her to pay attention. And that brings us to the end of today's delightful story. I really hope it had you on the edge of your seat. If you liked this story, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It means a lot to me. And if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. There's always an exciting surprise waiting just around the corner, and you won't want to miss it. Do you have a spooky story to share or a fun idea for our next tale? Feel free to share in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what gives you the creeps the most. And as always, take care, keep exploring. And remember, sometimes the most chilling tales are the ones left untold. Catch you in the next one, if you're up for it.